You voted and I listened. This cannot be undone, no matter how much you guys want me to do a good webtoon. Now the eggnoid video did pretty well the first time, but unfortunately, so hopefully this time will be spared. Anyways, since it has been a while since that video was released, let me do a little recap. A girl named Ron has a crush on a guy named Ulfie, and somehow a guy with this name already has a girlfriend. After being so heartbroken, the most logical thing happens next. An egg appears in her room. Out of this egg is a nearly full-grown guy, but in the cabeza, he's not so full-grown. Also, the egg tells her to raise the man-child. Even though she's obviously not ready to raise a man-child yet, she still takes it upon herself to raise him, and does a pretty decent job. However, one thing that's a little worrying is she might be falling for her stepson. No, I know what the filthy animals among you are thinking, and no! Who am I kidding? This is exactly the same thing. Oh, and also, apparently her crush Ulfie never had a girlfriend. He just made her think that for some reason. And the reason why he hasn't told her anything is about to be revealed. And if it isn't, and that's about everything. Unless you guys wanted more context and wanted to watch the first video. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get on to the webtoon. Ron asks if she's not his friend anymore, why he still treats her nicely, and he says that it's his mom that cares, not him, which understandably crushes her. Grace, after finding out he didn't make up with her, starts to drag him to explain everything, but Ulfie, this stupid ass name. Ulfie reminds her that she was the catalyst for all of this, and we then get a backstory on why all of this is happening. Apparently, they hung around each other so much that Grace thought Ron was his girlfriend, and asks him if she has any other friends. And then he recalls another incident where they were all going on a field trip where the meeting place was changed last minute. Everyone barely made it there. Everyone. Except for Ron, because somehow no one told her and she doesn't check the school chat room for updates. Of course, Ulfie had to get her, and apparently she's been waiting there the whole time without questioning anything. He takes her phone to contact someone from class because his is dying and notices she only has 2 contacts saved. When he asks her about this, it's because she has Ulfie and she doesn't need anyone else. Alright, there's 3 things I gotta say about this. 1, I can see why he thinks all of this is an issue, but man, did you really think this was the best possible solution? My best friend is so introverted to the point that she almost hates other people. What's the best course of action? Aha! Ditch her. She's bound to make friends that way. 2, like I said, I can see why he thinks this is an issue, which brings me to you. Alright, I get it, you're a super introvert, making friends is harder than it sounds. But fear not, I have a better solution. If you look behind you, you'll see a social gathering event for people just to talk and meet new people. And if you look behind me, you'll see a Tyrannosaurus Rex waiting for someone to fight. So, what'll it be? Will you make new friends? Or hang on, where do you think you're going? And number 3, I know she's just trying to be sweet and show how much she loves Ulfie, but man, all I can hear from this is hide away from me. Hide away. It turns out I was onto something, because not only did Ulfie feel the same way, but Grace did too. Again, I know she isn't trying to sound that way, but do you know how creepy of a statement you have to say to freak out your best friend, a girl, and a real person? Look at Ulfie in this panel. You freaked him out so bad, his eyes de-aligned to make him look like... Grace tells Ulfie, okay, I've had it with this stupid name. Can I rename him? Actually, hold on, yes I can. It's my video, isn't it? All right then, what do I rename him to? Actually, I got an idea. Let me pull up a name generator to help us out with this problem. And what better names to choose from than football players? Hey, not that helmet football. I'm talking about real football. Alright then, now that we're here, let's see which name we're gonna replace Ulfie's with. And it's... And Dolphy's new name has been decided! Hooray! Grace tells Rashford that he's only making things worse, as it seems like he's just abandoning his best friend. Rashford snaps back, saying he doesn't want to be the reason she's isolated, and he's not completely sure if this will work, and thus may have to resort to a stronger method. Well, Rashford, luckily for you, I have some ideas in case she still doesn't forget about you. First things first, we can hypnotize her into being an absolute extrovert that makes friends with everyone the moment she makes contact with them. Secondly, we can fake her death so she has no choice but to speak with someone else. And finally, and this is a radical one, tell her the truth. Alright, given how that went last time, maybe these two options aren't so bad. As the bell rings, Grace tells Rashford to at least tell Ron why he's avoiding her, so she at least understands why all this is happening. We cut to Ron, who then has a flashback to the reason why she drinks milk. She tells Rashford that milk is disgusting and smells weird, but one offer and she immediately folds. And now she loves drinking milk out of glaze for Rashford, dreaming of the day that she and him can be together again. As she's walking back to class, she sees Rashford and Grace together. Then she runs to the bathroom? Wait, she doesn't actually hate milk. She's clearly lactose intolerant, which means Rashford is completely in the right to abandon you. Why would anyone want to be with a disgusting person that can't handle milk in their lives? It's pathetic. I'd even go as far as to say it's prejudiced. Look at the word milk. Now let me take out the I. What does that look like? Oh, but they just so happen to not be able to drink it, huh? Yeah, run into that bathroom, Ron, and suffer. I hope you drown in milk! In the bathroom, these girls gossip about Ron, unaware that Ron is right there, listening to every word. They talk about how much of a loner Ron is, and she pushed everyone away by glazing Rashford. Hearing this, Ron reveals that she's been listening the whole time. I'm sorry, man, but the freaking puppy eyes she's giving the girls is killing me. Nah, you know what'd be messed up? If she stepped out and they diss her worse. After listening to all of that, Ron realizes how she might have been making Rashford feel, but is unfortunately very hard on herself, thinking Rashford hates her. And then she bawls her eyes out, just wanting to be with Rashford again. And then we go back to the house as Eggy senses a disturbance. I wasn't the only one who nearly forgot about him, right? I swear, this webtoon feels so normal, and then you remember... Eggy's wasting time, waiting for Ron to return home, doing anything he can to pass the time. He even resorts to reading books, but unfortunately, he's read all the picture books, so he's forced to reading the big books. And he pulls out... Oh no. Guys, crazy theory, but what if he reads this and gets the idea that society as a whole has failed, and billions, yes, billions must die? Thankfully, Ron arrives home before Eggy can become radicalized, and he notices that something's off with her. He asks her where does it hurt, but little does he know, this isn't regular pain, this is Squidward crying with headphones pain. After seeing Eggy comforting her, Ron says she's grateful to have him, and if he wasn't there, she might have... Is she saying suicide? That is actually wild though. If Eggy wasn't here, Rashford's strategy would have led to... Well, dang it, man, it's a serious topic. I can't be joking about it. Okay, maybe just one more. Stop! Alright. So, after reflecting on everything, she decides it all lands on her to make the right choices to better herself as Eggy hugs her. This is very touching. It's times like these when you realize, you thought I'd stop! Ron is having a nightmare of her past, including her parents' death, her grandma crashing out, and being made fun of for being an orphan. Do people actually do that? Why? How is it funny? You think they go to an orphanage and just start... Fortunately, Rashford is here to save the day, and nope, never mind, he's gone. Her nightmare finally ends, and I swear that stupid egg is making... Eggy is excited to see that Ron's up, jumping on her bed, which causes Ron to fly up and... That's your son, you know. They go to the kitchen and oh my... Ron goes back to school and passes by two of the girls who were in the bathroom talking about her. Apparently, they were going to apologize but didn't have the guts to say anything, so the other girl, Laras, volunteers to do so on everyone's behalf. She goes up to Ron, apologizes, and before Ron can say much, she makes assumptions upon assumptions, so many to the point Ron just gives up. And once she tells the two girls what happened, this somehow makes them really mad, as they vow never to talk to Ron for all time. Dude, I don't get how you guys can be the angry ones in this situation. Like, did you guys somehow forget what happened yesterday, or did you guys hypnotize yourselves into forgetting? Anyways, it turns out that all of this was some master manipulative plan from Ladas to get everyone to hate Ron. Now, why in the world would she do any of this? Well, let's ask our good old friends, the webtoon comments section, what they... Rashford is at basketball practice when his friend calls him out for a poor performance, pestering him about what's going on. Rashford tells him it's about Ron, and then he jumps him? He tells his friend about everything that's happening with Ron, and this guy is giving the worst advice out there, and then waffles on about Ron getting a boyfriend? I don't know, man. Clearly he wasn't the right guy to tell this thing to, but he might just be onto something about the boyfriend thing. Just so long as it's not who I think it is. He does, however, spit some facts, saying that finding friends you can really trust is very difficult, and you can't force someone to want to do something. They have to want it themselves. Wise words from Not Goo. No wonder Rashford hangs out with him. Yes, you have to hear the worst sentences that can ever come out of a human mouth first, but once that's over with, you'll hear something that'll change your whole life. Ron gets her monthly allowance, and guess what she does? Perhaps she decides to save it up. Maybe even invest into crypto. Spend, spend, spend. That's all you do, huh? Frankly, I'm disappointed. I would have expected you to save up some more, think of something to do so you're not some paycheck to paycheck fool. But no, here you are, splurging on this admittedly delicious looking food. Go ahead and keep on wasting your money, and in time, you and Eggy will face the ultimate consequence of this incompetence! Ron is doing homework, and wanting to help, Eggy does her homework for her. Seriously, he actually does it all, with flying colors and everything, and all because he read one book. Granted, it's only because he has a photographic memory, but still, this is incredibly impressive. I swear, I'm just waiting for the point in the webtoon where someone says something that will reveal he was a sleeper agent the whole time. As they're messing about, Ron gets a text from her aunt, informing her that she'll be visiting her this weekend. Guys, wild theory, but what if the person who sent Eggy was her aunt, and then the aunt activates the trigger phrase for Eggy to be awakened, and it's a 2v1 because Ron is actually a vampire? Ron is freaking out because the egg won't open, which was where she was gonna stuff Eggy for the entire time her aunt visited. Is she not considering the possibility of... She eventually settles on putting him in the attic, leaving him with everything he'd need so he doesn't leave. And so, we finally are introduced to her. Is that her aunt? Good golly, in my life I've never seen a woman so... Yeah, whatever, she's a drawing. Apparently, her aunt is really laid back with Ron, telling her to enjoy life some more. She then asks her about Rashford and if they're dating now, but out of nowhere they hear a thud from above them. What if it wasn't Eggy, but something completely unrelated to anything going on? Some poor skydiver just forgot to put his backpack on. We see what caused the thud, as Eggy is distracted by a butterfly, which led him to slip and fall. And I swear the sleeper agent theory is not going away. Maybe he isn't even a sleeper agent and he full on is a spy. Hang on, did I make this joke last video? And yes, I did. Well, you guys can't really blame me. For one, it's been over a year since that video. And two, everything this guy does reeks of spy. Ron tries telling Diane that it was a cat, but unless it was this guy, no one is believing that. Eggy makes it more difficult by calling out for Ron, so Ron has to put in extra effort to hide him. Once Diane takes a phone call, she uses that as an opportunity to tell Eggy to go back into hiding. However, since she's running out of time, in the heat of the moment, she pushes him. How could she do that? He's just a baby in a man's body. Wait, hold on. Now that I say that, how could she do that? It's been well established that he's larger than her. He's clearly physically fit, as we just saw. There's no way she pushed him to the ground unless she used up all her strength to push him. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm bothered by the power scaling in this webtoon because this is not pushing this. Diane apparently has to leave early because of work, and to pass the time, she goes to visit Rashford's mom. And so, Ron goes back to check on Eggy, but he's not there. Well, Ron, maybe next time when you push someone, you'll finish your apology. You will never see that man-child again. Diane catches up with Rashford's mom, and at some point in the conversation, Ron and Rashford avoiding each other comes up, which causes Diane to wait for Rashford to get home. She takes Rashford to a cafe to ask him why he and Ron aren't talking with each other anymore, which Rashford replies with what he told everyone else. This time, however, he acknowledges that he was in the wrong as well, and isn't sure what to do. Then Diane asks if Ron still matters to him, and look at this, he still loves her! Ron finds Eggy hiding in a bush, and he seems to be upset with her because she pushed him and she seemingly abandoned him. It's here Ron realizes that Eggy is a human person and should be treated as such. Great observation, Ron. I know it was pretty hard to figure out with the lack of evidence we have, but yes, he is indeed a person. Eggy very quickly forgives Ron, and they go inside to find that her aunt's already returned home. Ron, there's really no way to get yourself out of this one. You have no other choice but to blow yourself up. Seeing that they're holding hands, Diane assumes that Eggy is Ron's boyfriend. Ron quickly tells her that isn't the case, but doesn't know what to tell her, and is obviously flustered. Diane then tells her that even though she knows how strong Ron is, she's forgotten that she's still young, she needs help, and she's sorry for not being there, and reassures her that no matter what, she'll always help her. And so, she up and tells her the whole truth, egg and everything. And surprisingly enough, she believes her pretty quickly, even giving Eggy a concussion for answers. With that, she decides to stay with Ron and Eggy, telling them both to grab her things from the car. As they're outside grabbing the stuff, Rashford sees the two of them together, and he does not look happy. Oh boy, is this it? Are these two gonna battle? Does this call for another versus edit? You know, on second thought, let's just wrap this up. Alright, so the plot's moving forward. That's a positive, I guess. And now we know Rashford does like Ron, so we got that out of the way. Alright, that's enough of the good. Let's move on to the bad, what everyone really cares about. Ron and Eggy's relationship, what is it supposed to be again? Cause we have moments over here where she's acting like a caring guardian, which she should, considering she's supposed to be his mom. And then we got moments like this, where instead of a mom, she's more like a boy mom. Guys, I'll personally rate this webtoon a 10 out of 10 so long as these two don't end up together. No, they're not biologically related, but it's still... And then there's her obsession with Rashford. Yes, I do feel a little bad for her since Rashford was all she had and, well, this panel exists. But man, when you've got Rashford like this, I can't say he didn't have a point. Honestly, this is a pretty wild panel that happened and is just immediately forgotten. Or maybe I'm the stupid and interpreted it wrong? I don't know, man. My football team's losing. I'm not mentally sane anymore. Anyways, I'm not too sure what else to say, so I guess that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video in its entirety. If you guys liked this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys haven't already, consider joining the membership and Patreon for content that I gotta release soon. If you guys have any video suggestions or any other webtoons you'd like me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.